officially have this income tax, but we still have a way to repeal or have a voice on it. That's the initiative to people. So, Brian, your organization are collecting the signature for that. So would you give us more information about the initiative? Would you encourage people to at least sign the petition? So this issue will be on ballot in November. Everybody have a voice on it. Doesn't matter you agree or disagree. At least you can have a voice on it. Right.
Maybe there's a couple of things I can explain. One is the law and the initiative itself, and then I can talk about the time and the gathering, if that's all right. When we designed the initiative, it does a couple of things, and we need to go back to what does the income tax do? They were very, very sneaky in the legislature. Normally, when you think of an income tax, you tax the income itself.
Yes.
Right? But what the legislature did is they said, we're not going to tax the income. We're going to tax that moment when the boss, when your employer hands you the check or wires you the money, that transaction is what we're taxing. Mm-hmm. And so they think that they can make that a sneaky way to make it not really an income. They're calling it an income tax, but they think that this will help them get through the Supreme Court. So the first thing that we had to do in our initiative was define income. And we defined income as gain that you get from capital and from labor. Now, there's a capital gains tax. And if you remember what they did with the capital gains tax is they didn't tax the gain you got from capital. They taxed the sell. So the transaction, they called it an excise tax. So they've been very, very sneaky. We want to be very specific in our language that here's what income is, gain you get from capital or from labor. And then it's illegal on income to tax either when they pay you or the income itself. Mm. And then for capital, we also said it's also illegal to tax capital. We didn't change the capital gains law, so that will stay in place. I don't like it. I would like to fight that as well. But we didn't attack this excise piece. But our law defines income and it repeals the 9.9% tax. And it says no city, county, or state can tax either the giving of income or the income itself. So that's the law. That's the initiative that we have out there. And there's one more important piece. If you look at what they did in the legislature, they try to be sneaky again. This is really a sneaky legislature. They put words in the law like this will go to children. This will help K through 12. This will help little puppies and baby seals, right? It does all these good things. And so if you oppose this, and in fact, in this law, they cut the sales tax for diapers and for home personal hygiene products. And so I think what they wanted to do is if we did this income tax repeal, then those tax cuts would go away. That was their plan. And then they could say, oh, these guys are mean. They want you to pay more for diapers, even though the reason your diapers have such a high tax is because they've been charging you sales tax. So what we did, I believe in every tax cut that I could ever get. I think that you should cut taxes. So when we repeal the income tax, we said we didn't repeal the tax cuts. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So the diapers, still you get the tax, you could vote for this and still get the tax cut on the diapers. You still get the tax cuts for the personal hygiene products, et cetera. So that's the first piece. The second is now gathering signatures. We have until July 2nd to get 400,000 signatures. And that's a very fast pace. We've done it before. When we tried to stop, we actually won in the legislature and at the ballot box, preventing the natural gas ban, right? Last 2 years ago. We got 540,000 signatures in about the same amount of time. So I'm extremely confident that we will have 400,000 or more signatures. But I need everybody to gather signatures, to tell their friends. And one of the things that happened is Bob Ferguson, the governor, went out and he tweeted on X, oh, it looks like this income tax is going to be on the ballot.
He's disappointed.
Yes. But I also think he was trying to be sneaky too, because if he says that, then people will think, oh, it's already qualified. I don't need to sign. And we had people calling us saying, oh, I heard you already have enough signatures. I don't need to sign. And so what I'm telling people is, no, actually, let's do something even bigger. The most signatures ever gathered for any initiative ever in Washington state is 699,000. I want to get 700,000 signatures for the income tax to make a very clear statement back to Olympia. People want to vote, like you said, people deserve a vote, and people don't like this. So we're asking people, get your friends, and if they go to letsgowa.com, they can go on there and click, and we'll send them sheets that they can get their friends to fill out, and we'll send them an envelope so it doesn't cost them anything. They just send it right back to us, and we'll get it in.
So everybody, if like the listeners who wants to sign on the petition sheets and have a voice on the ballot on this issue, they can go to letsgowashington.com to pre-order the petition form and sign the form and mail it back to you.
That's right. That's the one way.
Yeah.
The second way is there's professional signature gatherers that are at stores, QFC, Walmart, Target. They're around the state. If they see one of those, sign them. And then the third way is if they go again to our website, they can go to a signing location. So there's some places that stores said, hey, give me sheets and I'll put them in my store. Some churches, the political offices, gasoline stations, gun stores, those places have all been willing to do it. And we'd be happy if any of your audience members want us to, if they have a store, we're happy to come and give them sheets that they can put in their store for people to sign in their store.
I think we need to do something. We need to put the effort to fix it. I know that the initiative, Brian, you already mentioned we can sign the petition and put the issue on the ballot in November. Is any other way we can contribute and fix the issue in Washington state?
I think there's a real huge opportunity this year with the Supreme Court. We elect, unlike many other states, we actually elect our Supreme Court justices. And this year, out of the 9 positions, 5 of them will be on the ballot. And it's statewide, so you get to vote for every single one of them. It's not by district. So there's 5, every single citizen gets to vote for 5 Supreme Court justices. In the past, there's been maybe 2 or 3. And one of the big challenges was that often there was only one candidate. There was no opposition. But this year, I'm trying to meet all of the candidates, and I'll be posting about it. We'll try to get information out there. But I know that there are 5 or 6 in the primary. There'll be 5 or 6 good candidates opposing the sort of. There's sort of 2 lines of thought. One says, no, we can make up the rules and we can interpret the Constitution as we want, and another that says, the Constitution is there. It's the rules, and everybody plays by the same rules, and we should protect those rules. And as I'm interviewing them, I'm finding there's some very good candidates that are defending the rule of law. And let me make one point that's very important. There was a gentleman named Dave Larson. He's running again this year. Last time he lost by 20,000 votes. He's a very strong defender of the Constitution. I think he's a very fair and would be a very good judge. But he lost by 20,000 votes. Now, that's not the important part. What really happened is, of all the people that voted, 900,000 of the people that voted did not vote for the Supreme Court. They didn't vote for anybody. And I think it's because they didn't know. They didn't know who to vote for, and so they just said, well, it's too much work. And I think, to your point, one of the really important things that people can do this year is study the Supreme Court candidates. There'll be a lot of material out there to help people decide which ones are going to defend the Constitution and which ones will sort of make it up on their own. And if we have your audience really get informed and understand, and then not just then they have to vote, because 900,000 people voted but didn't vote for Supreme Court. We have to change that. And if we do, it can make a very big impact. These Supreme Court justices, they'll be serving for another 15 years. And so this won't happen again in Washington state for a long time.
This is a great point. I want to suggest that, this is something that, number one, it's true. Most people don't pay attention to voting for judges. They just take it for granted. They think, well, it doesn't affect me personally. I'm not a criminal, not my father. So, I never show up in front of the court anyway. If I do, I'm in trouble. So they don't pay attention. But in this case, I think it's such a crucial. And then the opportunity is obviously there if we pay attention and if we understand the importance and do our duty. I think, we have to vote for the right people. So I really think audience, make sure this is the opportunity. If there's any time, this is time to vote for the right person on the Supreme Court.
Thank you so much. I think we had a wonderful discussion today regarding the new state income tax. Definitely, Washington State now is in the intersection. We have to decide which is the right direction to go. And we don't want to give up. We have several ways to fix the issues, fix the problems. First, every voters in Washington State, please sign the petition form so we have a voice on the income tax in November on the ballot. You can choose yes or no. And the second,
can we say vote yes to get rid of the income tax? They need to vote yes to get rid of the income tax.
Vote yes for the initiative to repeal the income tax. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Second is we have 5 Supreme Court judges on the ballot. We have to choose the right one who will follow the rules of the law and who will protect our Constitution, represent all the Washington State voters. So we have to be very careful to vote the right one to represent us. Thank you so much, both of you. We had a wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.